Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Yesterday, Tuesday, December 14th, 2021, Steph Curry set the all-time record for most three-pointers made in the league, passing Ray Allen. And what's interesting about this shots record is that it came on the anniversary of the Sandy Hook school shooting, and also what's now the anniversary of the first COVID-19 shot in the history of the world. And, of course, that was last year on December 14th, and they said the first person to get the COVID shot was Sandy. And, again, people will think this is a coincidence, but it is not. It's because the Jesuit cabal is scripting this all, and it's true mockery. The sports are what distract people from seeing what's really going on in the nation and who's running the show. Keep in mind, this is a three-point shot record, and right now they're telling you to get your third booster shot. And this happened in New York, the first city to pass such harsh mandates for the vaccine, which was done on the 201st day of the Ignatian year after Event 201, the coronavirus pandemic simulation, was done in New York. And, of course, Steph Curry, not long ago in 2017, signed the record $201 million contract, which is a huge number of the Jesuit cabal. Last night in the game, the record-setting game, there were 201 points scored. But as I always show, professional sports are a father-son affair, and of course, Steph Curry's father played in the league, and of course, last night's ritual was synced with his father. Just like when Klay Thompson set the NBA record with 14 three-pointers made in a game, Steph Curry's teammate, it was synced up with his father, Michael Thompson, who played in the NBA. And to show you how perfect this is, from Steph Curry's father's birthday, June 25th, to the record yesterday, December 14th, was 172 days later. And notice, Stephen Curry equals 172, as does the Jesuit motto ad merum de gloriam, 172. And it should remind you of Michael Jordan, whose birthday is 17/2. And remember, the year that Jordan set the win record at 72 games, his 73rd game of that season was against Del Curry, the father of Steph Curry. Years later, Steph Curry would set the win record at 73 against the Chicago Bulls. And, of course, Steph Curry's birthday is the 73rd day of the year. Part of the reason we had him pegged the other night to fall to 7-3 away and 21-5 for the season in the 215 area code Philadelphia. And if you watch that game, you know, the 76ers were down by quite a bit, and then they rallied to tie it up 73-73, and then they took the lead for the first time in a while, scoring the 76th points of the game as the 76ers. Again, Philly's the 215 area code. The Warriors are originally from Philly. They fell to 21-5. Philly's other area code is 267, and Curry picked up his 267th loss in that game. That's how scripted the NBA is. That's how these seasons are thought out. It's all a perfect script. You know, when you go and watch a movie or a TV show, you understand there's actors who have the talent to play the part, fulfilling the script. It's the same thing in professional sports. That's why all these rituals are so perfect, and they all point back to the Jesuits who serve Rome. You know, this is the new Rome, the United States of America. This is the bread and circus. You learn about ancient Rome, how they pacified their people that they ruled over with sports and games and theater. Nothing's changed. You know, your nation's capital has nothing but Roman architecture. And with regards to the father being 57, consider that Rome in Gematria equals 57. You know what else equals 57? Vaccine. And I'm telling you, this is not an accident. The NBA's having all these vaccine rules like the world of pro sports, huge vaccine COVID ritual the night before in LA. But look at this, you guys. Again, he passed Ray Allen. Ray Allen's birthday is July 20th, the 201st day of the year. And here's what else was in the news the same day that Curry, who was previously on the $201 million contract, I know that just earlier this year they upgraded his contract to $215 million before he falls to 21-5 against Philly. Again, the 215 area code where the Warriors are originally from. But I just want you to see what else was in the news the day of this. Now, remember, the Warriors moved back over to San Francisco recently. So what news did they bring back yesterday on the anniversary of the Sandy Hook shooting? They had to bring back the shooting story of the former 49er who played for the San Francisco 49ers, whose birthday is also July 20th, the 201st day of the year. And I guess I didn't put it in this post, but when we talked about this in the spring when this news broke, I got it here that you can see his birthday, Phillip Adams, born July 20th. There it is right there. His birthday is July 20th, just like Ray Allen's, right? 201st day of the year. They want to tell you that, all of a sudden in the new very soft NFL, all of a sudden these players are getting these traumatic brain injuries that's causing them to be mass shooters and shit. Just a total load of shit. 20 years ago, did we have commercial breaks with athletes coming on talking about their mental health problems? Did we have a 7-time gold medalist, wearing tigers on her leotard, or not tigers, but goats on her leotard while Brady's doing the goat ritual, sitting out of the Olympics or whatever it was, world competition, talking about her mental health problems? No, all of this stuff is bullshit because this world's controlled by the same Jesuits that control the same pharmaceutical companies that profit off you, who idolize these assholes, and then you're like, oh my God, she's got a mental problem and needs pills? Maybe I got a mental problem and needs pills. That's why they really do all this shit. But understand, this is how the Jesuits program you. There's symbolism everywhere. There's same numbers everywhere. There are rituals everywhere. It's just a sick fucking joke. On the anniversary of Sandy Hook shots, on the anniversary of the nurse Sandy getting the first COVID shot, now you got the greatest shooter of all time, Steph Curry, doing it in New York, the basketball mecca, where the story was that he wanted to be drafted by the Knicks. Plus, they also say Curry's breakout game happened against the Knicks, where he scored 54 points. Remember, Jesuit order equals 54, like the first Jesuit university was established by John Carroll right after his 54th birthday. And, yes, some other things to point out about this. We covered the Ad Marum Dei Gloriam, Steph Curry, 172 days after his birthday. We covered why 201 points in the game. Ray Allen born on the 201st day of the year. Steph Curry previously on the $201 million record contract. But what else is interesting about December 14th? This is the day in history that George Washington died. Who the first Jesuit university is named after, who the nation's capital is named after, who's supposedly the first president. And again, I'd encourage you guys to think about our history books in light of this knowledge. It's entirely possible that the entire history of this nation as we know it is complete bullshit, all made up bullshit. It could have happened a long time ago. How was anyone back in the day supposed to know what a president looked like or what their name was? I mean, there was no TVs, radios, just nothing but stuff written down in papers and history books and stuff that people were expected to believe. But the point is, in the history, supposedly George Washington died on December 14th, 1799 during a medical procedure. If you write out George Washington, it equals 187. If you write out Washington, D.C., it equals 187. If you write out Society of Jesus, it equals 187. If you write out December 14th, it equals 187. If you write out 12/14, it equals 187. So this day has a big Jesuit connection. And again, Sandy Hook, huge Jesuit ritual. The whole COVID pandemic, huge Jesuit ritual. The NBA controlled by Jesuits. And if you're going, I thought they were Jews, the Jesuits are the merger of Judaism and the Catholic Church. That's what the Jesuits are. And again, you look at, even in the article yesterday about him passing, they talk about how his whole breakout started against the Knicks with a 54-point performance. Huge Jesuit order number. And again, they're using technology in sports to ensure outcomes. Everything's scripted to the point. I've been educating about this for 8 years straight. Go watch the videos they're now putting up everywhere with the grip gloves in the NFL, the electronic magnetic grip gloves. Certain balls made, certain gloves made that look like regular gloves, but they'll ensure you got the catch. I've been telling you for years, Eli Manning to David Tyree helmet catch. That was clearly a magnet, clearly a script. But anyway, if you guys don't want to get it, it's because you don't want to get it. Technology, rigged sports, rigged outcomes, perfect rituals, contrived theater, synced up with the news. It's so obvious. The day before this, Monday Night Football, 37 cases of COVID record in the NFL. And it's just so stupid. Again, coronavirus was originally the flu. This is the time of year people get sick. We're acting like it's strange that people are getting sick in the winter when this is what's gone on our whole life. But remember, in Gematria, Los Angeles equals 37. In reverse, Los Angeles equals 53, so does COVID. What do you get? You get Los Angeles upsetting the Cardinals with their team out with COVID, and you get 53 points in the game. The kicker has 2 field goals that are 53-yarders. Remember, Super Bowl 53 had the same team in it. They lost to the Patriots. The other team that equals 53 is Super Bowl. We told you what happened before the season began. Again, same shit over and over. And, yeah, you learn the numbers, you see the ritual. And again, for all the haters, I gave you a free video at halftime pointing out, how all the numbers were Los Angeles while it was tied 13-13 on the 13th. Again, you could have put a bet in right then, but I explained to you when they do this stuff, they're just baiting gamblers to bet on the wrong side. All the people who don't realize sports are rigged will be like, oh man, LA's out tonight, sounds like free money, I'll just bet on the Cardinals. No, it's not free money. They baited you to bet on the Cardinals before the game by telling you that everyone was sick with COVID. They got their whole game scripted. They got the whole plan script. They know how to milk the public that isn't wise enough to see through how the games are scripted. All the dummies went out and bet on the Cardinals when they saw the COVID news hours before the game. That's how it works. All the people that would come here and be like, oh, sports aren't scripted, they're the same dummies that would go out and bet on the Cardinals. So you got to decide who you are. Are you a dummy, or are you someone... Or are you someone who can see facts and undeniable evidence from a man who's given it to you 8 years straight, calling out these championships seasons before they happened? You know what I mean? Because that's the reality over here. Now, to go back in time to remind you about Klay Thompson when he hit 14 threes versus the Bulls. Again, they love to do these rituals versus the Bulls with the Warriors. It's like all goes back to Jordan and just how the whole rituals still run through him and his team and Chicago, this big Jesuit city. But look at this. Klay Thompson had 52 points in that game, right? Klay Thompson equals 52. His dad's name, Michael George Thompson, equals 239, the 52nd prime. Remember how we told you what Super Bowl 52 would be on September 23rd, 23/9, when Donald Trump took on the NFL and the flag protesters, and we told you right then it's going to be the Patriots versus the Eagles. The flag sewn in Philly at 239 Arch Street. Super Bowl was in Minnesota that year. Minnesota 52. Week 3, we gave you the Super Bowl for free. What it was going to be. And we also said why the Eagles would start 10-1 that year, which they did. And along that, season, there was a certain game in LA where they paid $650 if you bet 100 on them. And we were all over the Eagles to win that game as super dogs. That's the value of this knowledge. But anyway, when Klay Thompson did this, by the way, Klay Thompson's full name's 314, like Steph Curry's born on Pi Day. Again, you don't want to doubt pi in the NBA. But from Klay Thompson's birthday to the record was 263 days later, the 56th prime. When you run his name the other way, Klay Thompson is 56. It's 52 forwards, 56 in reverse. And realize these patterns happen all the time. This story yesterday, the shooter, the former 49er who supposedly, because of his CTE, just walked into a house and killed a whole family by the numbers. Again, a total bullshit story. If that family really was murdered, what's more likely is this man was also murdered, and then this whole ritual was pegged on him. And it was probably carried out by the police. It's not an accident that they put out the song Murder by Numbers by the Police, where killing's as simple as ABC 1, 2, 3. But the point is, this guy, supposedly when he shot up the family, it was 263 days after his birthday, the 56th prime. And then this story yesterday that they had to bring back on the anniversary of Sandy Hook was because of Dr. Ann McKee, whose name is also 56. Don't forget coronavirus 56, COVID vaccine 56, Adam Peter Lanza 56, the Sandy Hook shooter. Sandy Hook established in 1956, the shooting 56 years later. All this stuff on the anniversary of Sandy Hook. But the Klay Thompson thing, coming back to it, his dad was 63 years old at the time. The record was October 29th by his son, the day leaving 63 days left in the year. And there were 273 points in the game. The record came on his dad's 273rd day of his age. So again, Klay Thompson's big three-point record synced up with his father who was in the NBA, like Steph Curry's three-point record clearly synced up with his father who has the same name as him. Again, their real birth first name Wardell equals 30, like Curry wears the number 30. But yeah, this is the same stuff over and over and over. And it's like I told you back before the Warriors and Cavs ever met in the NBA Finals. I said it was going to be Warriors and Cavs that year. Everyone thought I was wrong. Everyone thought it was going to be the Bulls and Derrick Rose that year. Again, that was all the comments and feedback I got. Oh, no, it's not going to be the Finals. It's going to be the Bulls, Derrick Rose this year. Anyway, what I was telling you guys why it was going to be the Warriors and Cavs is because of Nate Thurmond, who I swear to God, that is LeBron's father. They have the same hairline. And remember, I was saying that years before. Again, I used Nate Thurmond to predict the Warriors and Cavs to meet in the finals. Steph Curry, LeBron James, Nate Thurmond, all born in Akron, Ohio. Nate Thurmond wore 42 for the Warriors and Cavs. The whole ritual of those finals was synced up with him, but don't forget, the Warriors won the first meeting, and then in the next year, which we also said was going to be a rematch, same finals, had it from the beginning of the year, all about Nate Thurmond. We said LeBron would definitely win that second rematch, which he did, and he won it on the real King James' birthday like we said he would. But remember, LeBron scored 27 points in that deciding Game 7, Warriors-Cavs, the second time they met, and then 27 days later, Nate Thurmond died. The word ritual is 27. And don't forget, before that Game 7 was played, the actor Anton Yelchin died at 27. The story was he got crushed in his own driveway because he forgot to put his car e-brake on, and somehow the car rolled down his driveway and smashed him into his own house. I mean, a total bullshit story. But what we pointed out before the game is how he was 27 years old, and his birth numerology was 103. 103 was the 27th prime, and that was going to be the Cavs' 103rd game of the season, which it was. 103, the 27th prime. We talked about this before the game. LeBron goes on to score 27, and then the guy I'd been saying was his father for the last 2 years over and over, ends up dying 27 days later. Nate Thurmond. And again, all this stuff is father-son ritual. So you guys can keep going, no, somebody else figured out this guy's LeBron's father. Okay, show me how that person who's claiming that, which you can't prove at all, syncs up at all with LeBron's career. You're going against my argument, which was, not in hindsight, before all this stuff happened, telling you why the finals was going to be Warriors and Cavs, how Nate Thurmond fit in with all this, who wore 42, like LeBron had his season high of 42 that year, 98 days before Game 1 of the NBA Finals, where it went to overtime 98-98, and on his back his chosen one, which equals 98, like National Basketball Association. Again, all this stuff is father-son. Look at Nate Thurmond's body. Look at his hairline. It's clearly LeBron's father. That's why it's all tribute to history. That's why he played for the Warriors and Cavs, the same two teams that are meeting. And with regards to father and son, why is the guy they call King James playing on the Cavaliers? Because the son of King James was King Charles, who the Cavaliers are named after. The people who fought for the Cavaliers in the English, or the people who fought for King Charles in the English Civil War were called Cavaliers. But, yeah, I mean, if you think all this stuff's a coincidence, I can't help you. You just got too few IQ points. That's what it is. I'm telling you, that's the real problem. You got to know that about yourself. You got to know your limitations. You're not smart enough to see the obvious. You're going to keep getting suckered by the con men that rule over your life, that lie to you every day. That's who you are, Too programmed and too stupid. And somebody better tell that to you because it's for your own good. And people got to recognize this. I've known this about my nation since I was a kid, that I live in a society of morons. And I knew that was going to be a problem because if you live in a society of morons, what's going to happen to your society? It's not going to be good when you live in a society of retards. And look at society. Look at what they're doing to themselves. Going along with every lie, not standing up for their rights or liberties, dragging us all to hell. Pacified by sports games. People will show up in a stadium every weekend by the hundreds of thousands, but they won't show up anywhere and assemble against tyranny. I mean, it's a damn shame. To close on a lighter note, Ray Allen sure did have the prettiest shot, man. Ray Allen sure did have the prettiest shot. I used to grow up idolizing that shot, I got to be honest. I was a young person back when Ray Allen was doing his thing. Playing at UConn and whatnot. Milwaukee Bucks, big three. Hold on. We got Itachi calling in. I got to take Itachi's call. Itachi just made a lot of money yesterday. You saw the Rockets upsetting the Hawks. What's up, Itachi?
Hey, man, would you mind sharing that riddle? How it was like.
Why don't you share it? You're the one who came up with it.
You're right. So it was the Hawks 1,100.
Hold on. Stop.
Yep.
Just stop first. How long have you been following this work, Itachi?
Since Kobe Bryant died.
So not that long. The point is not that long. I just wanted. So this is a student of the work since Kobe Bryant died. And are you patting your pockets over there or what?
Dude, I got fired from my job because of the vax. Your knowledge and the I don't even call it gambling, but this knowledge has padded my pockets, has changed my life, honestly.
It's allowed you to sustain through not having a job from not being bowing down to getting the vaccine.
Exactly. I answered no to the surveys. All of a sudden, there's all these problems with my work and my performance. But, this knowledge, I've been living in a hotel since I moved down to St. Petersburg.
You got to move out of a hotel. That's expensive. We got to move out of the hotel. You got to find a better thing than that.
I'm doing that right now. I just did that today. So
okay, good.
God is good. God is good. But, yeah, to get back to the riddle, man, you know how the Atlanta and Houston played in the World Series.
Right.
And a span of 42 days later, they play each other.
Let's just stop right. Okay, again, Hank Aaron ends baseball at age 42. Braves win the World Series 4-2 on the anniversary of his release. The 42nd pitch of the game, jacked out of the park by Jorge Soler, a big black man like Hank Aaron. So now we're seeing 42 days later, they happen to be playing in basketball, and Itachi clues into something.
Yeah, so thank God for Stat Muse. If you look at the Atlanta Hawks all-time record in December, they played 1,107 games.
Kind of like 117. It was the 117th World Series.
Exactly. And they were on 506 losses. I'm like, no way they're not getting 507.
World Series. 57.
World Series equals 57. There was, at some point, they were plus over 1,000 if you bet them live. But going into it, they're plus 375.
And that's a great payout. That means if you bet 100, it pays 375. And if you put that in a parlay, it has a huge multiplication value effect, so you can bet a small amount of money and potentially make a lot.
Exactly, man. So I just had to share that real quick. I'm moving right now, or else keep on longer. But man, keep exposing these motherfuckers. Keep sharing the knowledge. The people got to wake up, man. I've got a few people. They just want the winners, right? They don't really care about the knowledge. I'm just going to keep sharing the tick. I'm not going to give them the winners unless they pay for the Patreon or whatever. But man, just keep doing your thing. Thanks, Zach.
All right, have a good one, man. Good work.
Thanks.
So, and again, the thing is he hasn't been doing this long. He does make some mistakes too. Like the other day, he went against the pie riddle. He shouldn't have done that. But the point is, he's going to get better. He's already making money off this, and it's sustaining him through not having a job. And there's a lot of people like that. There's people in this community who now make more money off this knowledge than they do from their day job. So it's not like you learn this and somebody's going to, I'd stick to your day job. It's like, shit, you might be able to quit your day job. And again, if you want to sit there and be like, I don't believe it, again, just know who you are. I'm telling you who you are. Low IQ, not worth a shit. You're the swine that shouldn't be watching this video. This is casting pearls before swine. You might be that swine. A lot of swine in this world. More swine than anything else. Trust me, I know that because I've been living in it for a long time. And I don't put this out here for the swine, but I know swine will come across it, and you guys aren't deserving of it. And because you're swine, you're not going to do anything with it. So just know who you are. We're separating the people from the worthy from the not worthy. And sadly, there's not enough people who are worthy at this moment in history. So if you're somebody who went out and got a vaccine to keep your job, you're not worthy. You're swine. I'm just being honest. That was a swine decision. You bowed down to tyranny, That's something swine would do. So anyway, we'll leave it there for now. Until next time, Truth Seeker.